Who tuned in late again, of course, the much anticipated return of number 9, Pablo Campos, the all-time leading goal scorer in these 3+ years now of the return of the North American Soccer League. Pablo Campos, former Scorpion, and of course current Minnesota United player. The hopes of seeing Pablo return to San Antonio here at Toyota Field ended in mid-March last month when he tore both the ACL and MCL in his left knee. The talented 6'3" Brazilian with another nice season last year after signing that multiple-year contract with Minnesota United. Ruled out for the entirety of this spring season. Minnesota United, though, has been able to find a goal here in their first match in his absence to kick off the season. So the two teams have switched, and Coach Lagos was very mindful of the fact they did have the wind at their back, did the Loons, and here in the second half they'll be working into that wind.
That's going to be an advantage for the Scorpions, something that they can take advantage of. As we said, they like to play the long balls out of the back, get Zahorsky and possibly Restrepo to run onto them, see if they can do that here with the wind at their back. But they're going to have to keep possession. Again, the possession in the first half firmly on the side of the Loons.
I want to take this opportunity to thank Little Nick's New York Pizzeria. Reminder that Little Nick's New York Pizzeria offers daily pizza and pasta discounts. Take pride. Make sure that they have a chance to talk to you. Of course, if you're eligible for a military discount, be sure to inquire about that. You can reach them by dialing 210-499-5000, 210-499-5000. Again, be sure to inquire about their military discounts, and even if you aren't eligible for one, daily pizza and pasta discounts at Little Nick's New York Pizzeria. Scorpions looking for the equalizer, back post. It'll bend wide, and in the end it'll drift across the touchline and back over to Minnesota.
Good work from the Scorpions. It's exactly what you want to see at the start of the second half. They need to take the ball and take the game to Minnesota. Need to try and get a goal here in the first 15 minutes of the second half. Minnesota's going to try and weather the storm. Minnesota probably very content to get out of here with a 1-0 victory.
Again, Steven Duro with that brand new number 21 on his back after wearing 7 last year in his debut with the Scorpions. Works it along the back line. The new number 10 these days, of course, the last 2 seasons, that was Hans Dennison, now a member of the New York Cosmos this year. For the Scorpions wearing the number 10, Danny Barrera. And again, fans were hoping for a whistle, not going to get it in that final third. So Barrera not the only member of the Scorpions familiar with wearing number 10. Sean Seiko was wearing that number, up the wonder child from north of the border, but Seiko this year back to a familiar number 6, which he had worn in recent years with FC Edmonton before strapping that number 10 on. But here is Barrera, has handled many of the set pieces here tonight in his Scorpions debut. Last year, 3 goals, 7 assists in over 1,100 minutes with the Silverbacks, the spring champions. Barrera, plenty of leg, header goes wide. Opportunity missed for the Scorpions, so close, and yet Minnesota United hangs on to a 1-0 advantage.
That beautiful ball played in there to the veteran Janicki. Janicki right at the top of the 6-yard box, tried to play that to the near post and just wide. Van Oekel breathes a sigh of relief right there. You're mentioning earlier the Canadian contingent that head coach Alan Marcinez brought in. We talked about the captain Adrian Can, along with Seiko, 2 of the new Canadians brought in here for the Scorpions in 2014.
We anticipate calling Greg Janicki's name a few more times this season on set pieces. He had 2 goals in his debut with the Scorpions back in 2012 in that season. Last year, not as much of an offensive force as the Scorpions had plenty of individuals who could factor in on set pieces. But we already saw in the preseason Janicki with a couple of key goals in matches against big league competition. For the Scorpions, that is your new captain, Adrian Can, the 33-year-old out of Thornhill, Ontario, Canada. Played for the national team. Prior to that with the U20s. Played his college ball at Louisville. Seiko fires one up ahead to Zahorsky. Fans starting to feel that something may be building up here for their home squad. Step through a tackle opportunity, collision at the 18-yard line clean, and well, the Scorpions' attack quickly sent the opposite direction.
Numbers right there certainly not in favor of the Scorpions. 7 defenders in light blue for Minnesota United, only 3 attackers, and Minnesota having a beautiful, or I should say doing a beautiful job of getting those defenders and those midfielders back defensively here.
Our first foul here in the second half. Of course, most coaches will tell you you want 3 points at home. You want 1 point at least on the road. If you're doing that, you're going to be competing for championships. You get the feeling that tonight Minnesota will be disappointed if it leaves with anything shy of the full 3 points. And this meeting already up 1-0 here in San Antonio.
San Antonio's picked it up here in the second half. You can certainly see the up-tempo play that they didn't have in the first. Head coach Alan Marcina certainly said something to get them to pick it up here and see if they can crack through this back line. And Van Oekel and this back line consisting of Diaz, Davis, Calvano, and Venegas have just been very impressive here in their opener in the 2014 season.
A hill pass that started to sail away back over to Minnesota United. Scorpions, though, still have all numbers pushed forward to a minimal the halfway line. Restrepo tries to issue one forward into a crowded penalty area. Can. Now to Janicki, who swings at one. Zahorski. Ball did not travel as far as he had hoped. Again, Scorpions with the wind at their backs here in the second half. We're maybe 12 inches away of finding an equalizer about 5 minutes ago, but have not officially tested Matt Van Oekel here in the second half, and flag goes up at the request of a couple of defenders. Moments after their arms elevated, so did the flag across the way. The right call, offside.
Good build up there from the Scorpions. That's exactly what you want to see. Obviously, the last pass offside, trying to get that one through, but they're continuing to press, continuing to make the defense more and more compact for Minnesota United. And you can see there Minnesota United didn't have a player on the offensive side of the field. See if they continue to kind of park the bus defensively and see if they can get out of here with the 1-0. And that's obviously a very tenuous situation to be in with only a 1-goal lead, to see if they try and add an insurance one.
Ball at the feet of Minnesota United right now, back and forth between Venegas and Daly. And a foul up front. It'll be whistled on Ramirez, who does have that difference maker thus far. Christian Ramirez, again, the NAIA All-American at Concordia University in Irvine, California. We'll see Sani Toure make his debut for the Scorpions at the next chance. He'll become the first sub of the 2014 season for the Scorpions. We'll have a chance to talk a little bit about Sani here in what will be officially his second season with the Scorpions, and now is that opportunity for number 20 to come into this match. Sani Toure, the Gambian, 24 years young, will make his 2014 debut and join 8 teammates out there on the pitch as he comes in for Sean Seiko, whose afternoon is done, the 24-year-old from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Barrera puts it up ahead. Dangerous hop. Van Oekel runs into his own teammate. Hard to miss your goalkeeper. We can only be perhaps too fortunate to ask Van Oekel to direct traffic once this match ends up and cars have to get out of the parking lots.
Exactly. Van Oekel 6'3.5", but also in the bright neon highlighter green back there. That's all the trend, thanks to, I guess we could fault the University of Oregon football for that.
He'll find his way to the neon boots right now, the back line of Janicki. So Sani Toure again entering this ball game for Coach Alan Marcina. USL Pro, best 11 back in 2012. Joined the Scorpions last year following the USL Pro season. Opportunity for an equalizer for Minnesota United, but the Scorpions survive, at least for now. It is a goal kick for Bingham. Only one ball has gotten past David Bingham here in this match. It was a classic pass and assist for Aaron Pitchcall, and that found Christian Ramirez for the 20th minute of that first half.
Yeah, a lot of credit to Ramirez there. Beautiful feed in from Pitchcall, but Ramirez, as I said, at the top of the box, trapped it and just spun. Clinical finish right there for the Californian, and still the only goal of the match 1-0 here in the 55th.
I mentioned Scorpions still have not scored in a home opener or season opener, and the only exception is if you count that fall match against Tampa Bay when the final score was 7-4 last fall. And the Scorpions led 3-0 in the opening half hour, only to find themselves down 4-3 at the half. One of the bright spots, though, was discovering Thomas Zahorski and his offensive touch. It's an offensive touch, though, that he has not been able to reunite with in that preseason, but hoping to regain his form here early in this spring campaign. Toure trying to help guide this ball forward. Now Toure making the run. Instead, a drive on the goal. It'll go wide left. And it's simply a goal kick for Matt Van Oekel. But the Scorpions, thanks in part to two fresh legs belonging to Sandy Toure, picking up the pace.
Very difficult shot attempt there for Denny Barrera in the middle of the park. He tried to volley that with his left boot and put it wide. But again, a speculative attempt right there. It looks like he might have had the opportunity to play it on the carpet, but it's what you want to see from the Scorpions. They need to start taking shots.
Pitch calling gets just enough on that to send it over to Daly. "25 yards out, quickly becomes within the final 15 yards. Scorpions holding their ground, hip to hip, and it's going to be a corner kick for Minnesota United. Another big chance on a set piece here for the visitors.
Yeah, Barajo concedes the corner right there, and as you said, with a 1-0 lead, looking for the insurance goal are the Loons of Minnesota United. Looks like we're going to have the second substitution of the match for San Antonio.
It'll be another newcomer, Eric Hasley, the 32-year-old Frenchman. He'll wait till after this set piece. Congestion around that front post. Scorpions the first to get to it, but have not survived yet. Arms are flailing. Ball stays with the Loons. Rowe will send it up ahead to Barrera. And Danny Barrera finally will let things settle down a bit. But a pressure still being applied by Minnesota, and it pays off. Duro directing traffic, sends a long strike, looking for Toure, hoping he can win the foot race. Out on the right wing, Toure will keep it inside that far touchline. Ball sent in, last touch by the Loons, and it'll be a corner kick for the home squad. A chance to tie things up perhaps here in the 58th minute in San Antonio.
A bit of miscommunication there on the ball played into the box between Van Oekel and Diaz. Van Oekel thought he was going to be able to catch that one. Diaz knocked it out and concedes the corner kick here to the Scorpions.
Danny Barrera had those 7 assists last year. We are about to see the San Antonio Scorpion debut of Eric Hasley. They are hoping to find some offense for number 29 here tonight as he comes in for Thomas Zahorski.
If anyone can do it, it's Hasley. Hasley, 2012 MLS All-Star, and nominated also in the same year for the Fran Puskas Award for Goal of the Year, along with such names as Lionel Messi and Radamel Falcao Garcia.
Scorpions keep it low, but back over to Minnesota United. Cannot capitalize on that opportunity as the 58th minute comes and goes. Mentioned Hasley, of course, FC Dallas last season, and prior to that, Toronto FC. Spent time with the Whitecaps. A nice stint in Zurich as well with 5 years. Played in Switzerland, England, France. His resume is similar to many of the players added in the NASL this year, not just with the Scorpions, but throughout. A lot of international experience, and we've seen in the NASL recycling of a lot of familiar names, but this year truly a nice influx of some new talent.
We've seen here the substitutions by head coach Alan Marcina. 2 strikers. See Toure coming on for Seiko, Hasley coming on for Zahorski, looking to get fresh legs up front, and you can tell by those substitutions. Head coach Marcina looking to get back into this one, not giving up at any stance, even though down by a man. That red card issued to Julius James in the 25th minute, direct red. And ever since, Scorpions have been down a man.
Well, Walter Restrepo thought that he perhaps had an uncontested opportunity to go streaking towards the goal with the ball, only to feel a shove in his back. That's what some of the fans are trying to raise their arms about. But in the end, Matt Van Oekel will simply have a goal kick into the wind, mind you. And it finds itself at the feet of Kevin Venegas. Minnesota United finished the spring tied for fifth, finished the fall tied for 3rd. While the Scorpions, remember, were a point shy of securing home field for the Soccer Bowl last year. Meanwhile, in the fall, things slipping away, finishing in 8th place out of 8 teams. There's a Scorpions team that just kept watching narrow victories slip away, following your typical 1-goal discrepancy throughout the remainder of that fall season. A lot of new names this year, a roster that only involves one of the original Scorpions from that 2012 season, Greg Janicki, and only 3 starters tonight of the starting 11 starters for the Scorpions a year ago. And Scorpions, a home match tonight, but their next one will not be until May 3rd. They'll have 3 straight home matches. Tampa Bay, Carolina, and FC Edmonton will all come to town. But first, Scorpions will have back-to-back weekends on the East Coast. Teray from the left wing sends a cross. That one sails away. Restrepo is on that back post, but Restrepo was a couple feet too short. As Walter Restrepo will send one in just to try to record a shot, but nothing more will come for San Antonio on that opportunity. This match over an hour old. Inside the final 30 minutes of play. And Stephen Dureau and these Scorpions mindful of limited opportunities. And one of the heroes the last time Minnesota was here in San Antonio is about to check into this match for the first time. What a luxury when you can bring Ibarra off the bench. But Miguel Ibarra, the former 23, who these days wears the number 10 for the Baby Blues, will come in for Manny Lagos at this time.
Got to give a lot of credit to the new substitute, the Gambian Toure right there. He's doing a good job pushing down Saney. Shows the speed, he gets around, ball pushed through. But Scorpions continuing to press forward. That's what you want to see. And see how bringing Ibarra on the first substitution of the match for head coach Lagos changes this Minnesota team.
Miguel Ibarra joined last year his teammate Aaron Pitchcone in Minnesota on the NASL Best 11. Always nice when you can bring in one of the best in the league off of your bench. And of course, he's an offensive-minded midfielder, an attacking mid. That tells you the mindset of Manny Lagos, not content sitting on a lone goal here on the road. Ibarra comes in for Floyd Franks. Franks plays into the 63rd minute. Last year, Franks, of course, acquired from Carolina, where he had spent 4 seasons, joining Minnesota United last year, now back for a 2nd straight season. The Alabama native. Into the box, he'll find the Loons first. Trey battling hip to hip. It'll never get to him. He'll be whistled for the foul. And it's not just a foul, a yellow coming the way for Sandy Teray. And Sandy needs to be careful with those arms flailing, almost caught the official. And the Scorpions, as many emotions as there are running through you, because it's been such a physical match throughout, and you get a look at the foul once again. Remember, 1 goal, and this is a brand new match.
That's exactly right. Surrey's got to be careful. Just came on as a substitute, quickly issued the yellow card, and he continues to talk, flailing the arms about right there in front of our head official, Mr. Matthew Forster. Forster does a good job, backs away, but Teray has to be careful. As you said, just 1 goal the difference here, and that can be brought back at any time. Scorpions not out of this by any means.
Teray keeps the ball in play, but it's over to Calvano, the vice captain for the Loons. Watson pushes forward. I mentioned he's familiar to the fans in these parts, back with the original Austin Aztecs before they moved to Orlando City, and they didn't go alone. They brought Jamie Watson with them. Jamie recently did a feature for Minnesota United, going over to the Mall of Americas and doing a little man-on-the-street interview with many of them. Had a chance to show off his mic skills tonight, showing off his boots. Again, looking to score a goal into the wind. Daly collects 25 yards out. Has an opportunity out there on the wing and finds it. And a perspective pass that'll stay in play and continues to dance inside the touchline on the near side. Ibarra with those fresh legs.
Ibarra doing a good job. You can see it right there, bringing the fresh legs onto the pitch for head coach Manny Lago's squad, and very impressed with the speed of Omar Daly, the Jamaican international. Hasn't got a lot of touches here in the second half, but when he gets the ball at his feet, always dangerous.
Daly last year, his first season with Minnesota, joined them for the fall campaign. Omar Daly was held without a goal until his final match against Tampa Bay. Scored one, then a second, then a third, a hat trick in his final match of the last fall season against those Rowdies. Again, you mentioned out of Kingston, Jamaica, the 32-year-old. Again, Ibarra onside. Right now, matched one-on-one with Adrian Can. Sends one into Bingham, who squeezes it in right around the chest.
Good idea there from Ibarra. You can see him trying to play that to the far post, but good job from the young netminder Bingham, quickly off his line, able to shepherd that one safely in his gloves. San Antonio getting more and more compacted here. They were the ones doing the compacting early in the second half, forcing the Loons to drop back defensively, but the Loons now have had some possession in the past few minutes and now turn the tables on the Scorpions.
Eric Hasley with a rare touch since coming in moments ago as the second substitution on the night for the shorthanded Scorpions. Ture with the lone touch. Is that what it takes? Opportunity for Restrepo, and just could not put punctuation on that attack. Walter tripped up on his own feet, just could not plant and fire after Ture, a delicate pass, but right on the mark.
Yeah, Restrepo hands to the sky right there. Thought that should have been a call. You can see Hasley away from the play, looked to be open. Also with his hands on top of his head, looking for the assist. He would have had a one-on-one shot. But Scorpions, again, another opportunity squandered right there.
One of the scarier moments for Matt Van Oekel in the defense of Minnesota United, but things came together in time. Barrera, as he'll go down, and this will set up straight away from just inside 30 yards, a free kick for the Scorpions.
That free kick here coming in a very dangerous position, straight ahead on goal. You can see Hasley with the ball in his hands. Looks like he wants to take this for sure, does the big Frenchman. But again, that back line, Davis, Diaz, Calvano, and Viva Venegas doing a wonderful job in front of their netminder, Matt Van Oekel.
Eric Hasley, more than 70 goals as a professional. You mentioned MLS veteran, certainly has spent time abroad overseas as well. Matt Van Oekel right now sits between the two posts. Unique opportunity there to see Christian Ramirez kind of place his keeper on line. Hasley approaches, right footer stays low, and a one-hopper into the arms of Matt Van Oekel, who keeps a one-goal lead intact for the visiting squad from Minnesota.
Yeah, it looks like Hasley trying to play that ball to Toure to have Johnny run onto that, trying to play it in. But again, Seni Toure again shows his speed, easily picked up by Van Oekel. And Van Oekel, as he has been all night, shepherds the ball safely into his gloves.
We have seen a little bit of everything in this match. Obviously, tensions running high, physical contest. Minnesota United on the road looking to pick up a season-opening victory at the expense of the Scorpions. A couple of teams that know the NASL quite well by now. Do want to welcome one of the newer fan bases in the North American Soccer League back in Jacksonville. The fans of next year's newest member of the league, Jacksonville Armada FC. My understanding of the viewing party taking place over at the Burrito Gallery in downtown Jacksonville as the One Spark Festival wraps up down there. A lot of creative minds coming together. But of course, Jacksonville Armada next year will be one of multiple teams welcomed into this growing league.
Now we welcome in Jacksonville coming in next year, and a big shot right there over the top from the Brazilian number 77, Julio Vincentini, and another shot coming, and again, big shot over the top for the Loons, and Scorpions with one of their own. Score remains 1-0 here in the 70th minute.
Yeah, Danny Barrera not sending that one off the intended shoelace as he wanted it to come inside. It goes wide. Matt Van Oekel will get a clarification on something before he sends this goal kick back into play. We're about to wrap up with the 70th minute. Again, not just the fan base of Jacksonville tuning in, but of course the dark clouds up there in Minneapolis gathering. And fingers crossed, I imagine, for many of them that Minnesota can enter next weekend's match as they continue on the road to Ottawa and play the Fury, they hope, at the top of the table. Minnesota has to wait until April 26th, third weekend of the season, before they can welcome in a home match, and the rest of us can listen to Chris and Buzz on the broadcast.
I'd like to take this opportunity to go ahead and acknowledge the San Antonio supporters groups over there at Bexar County Casuals in Section 118 and Section 112, now rebranded the Garrison, the Crocketeers. So some of the fans out here always making Toyota Field a tough park to come in as an away team.
Van Oekel had Hasley pressuring him. Van Oekel readjusted the measurement for his kick. We're sitting across the halfway line, and that was a high forearm to the back of the head. Official, I think, had a chance to replay it in his mind, and it is a foul against Minnesota. The victim that time for the Scorpions, Richie Minjavar. His longtime teammate, Danny Barrera, will send it up ahead, but Eric Hasley, we'll say a few steps off Sun.
A few steps or 10 or 12 yards, either way you want to look at it. The Frenchman in the bright neon green boots up there, and Hasley doing the same thing he's done his entire career, getting close. And Hasley known for one thing, much like Pablo Campos. You can say a lot of things about him, but he can put the ball in the back of the net.
Bingham retreating to his back line. As that ball getting in towards the offensive third, Scorpions able to send it back to the halfway line. Our most recent whistle, and again the man down, the first man we saw go down earlier today. Christian Ramirez, who has the lone goal, the difference maker thus far.
Well, big free kick opportunity coming here in the 73rd minute. Very dangerous position, just about 6 yards outside of the box. We'll see who's going to take this for the Loons, but an opportunity to double their 1-0 lead. Again, up a goal and a man. The Trinidad and Tobago native, one of the new players here for San Antonio. Seems like they're almost all new players, but Julius James given the straight red card in the 25th.
A chance to create separation on the road, and it is a 2-0 advantage for the visiting Loons. This time, it comes off the foot of Venegas. The talented defender from Los Angeles, able to put one in the back of the net, past David Bingham.
A phenomenal goal there from Viva Venegas, Kevin Venegas, just on the right foot, and just that's what you practice. That's what you spend time before practice, after training, and Bingham just off as Venegas able to slip that one inside the near post for the second goal of the evening for Minnesota.
So Minnesota has just pushed themselves a tad bit closer to a full 3 points here tonight. Still 16.5 minutes left to be contested on this pitch, but Minnesota playing up a man now with a 2-goal advantage. Scorpions are no strangers to scoring 1 goal down a man, but this may be too much of a task to ask for.
Well, both teams getting into it here, and we saw that very early in this one, and whatever question of this being a rivalry quickly thrown out the window. Both of these teams, no love lost. And even though different players on both squads, rivalry continues. A tough foul right there. And free kick restart coming here for Minnesota.
Last set piece for Minnesota, of course, led to a goal, a tad bit closer. As Venegas joins Ramirez in the box score with goals. His unassisted, Pitch Cullen with the lone assist in this match on that opening goal for Ramirez. Again, Scorpions back in the 25th minute found themselves down 1 man. And hombre menos says Julius James, one of the new Scorpions, part of that foursome on the back line, was removed from the equation with a straight red card.
When you see the change, obviously San Antonio started out playing the 4-3-3 before James being given the straight red. Steven Dureau, the Jamaican, dropped back. He's now playing on that back line, so more of a 4-2-3 now with the guys on that back line and Toure, Hasley, and Restrepo up front.
Well, Toure creates the opportunity. They try to reward him as Dureau sends one off his right boot up ahead to number 20. Instead, it'll simply be a toss here for Dureau. He's looking for Hasley. Hasley with that size down there in the penalty area at 6 feet 3 inches. And there's no 6'3" Brazilian to mark him.
That's exactly right. Hasley and Pablo Campos, the same height right there. Very similar builds, both big bodies. They can do a lot of damage in the box, using that body to shield the defender away. Scorpions, big opportunity here on the corner.
Barrera's left boot looking to cut the deficit in half. And the Scorpions had what was almost practically an open frame as Van Oekel had been pulled into the near post. And San Antonio still has not been able to send one across the threshold.
A ton of open net right there for the Scorpions. You can see it in the replay. Van Oekel to the near post and just very, very lucky that one pushed wide. We're going to have the third substitution of the night.
Yeah, the very capable Jonathan Fania returns to the North American Soccer League, of course, most recently with Puerto Rico. As Fania comes in, following both Toure as well as Hasley in this ball game off the bench for Alan Marcina. So no more substitutions left for the shorthanded Scorpions. And of course, Fania last year south, playing in the Salvadorian top league.
Yeah, Fania, very impressive. He played with Alianza Football Club in El Salvador last year. They came in third in the Primera División. They fought, obviously, the winner in Luis Angel Firpo came in second, but a very good showing, had 13 goals in 35 matches. See if the Dominican International can duplicate that here in San Antonio.
Daly gets a push forward, sends a cross in, and the Scorpions just in time. Janicki able to get a foot on it and prevent a third goal, at least momentarily, from gracing the scoreboard.
Impressive defense from the veteran right there from Michigan, Greg Janicki, able to push that one wide of the near post. Looked like that was going in for sure for the third goal, but a corner kick coming, so danger not yet cleared for the Scorpions.
Jamie Watson, the 28-year-old from Arlington, Texas, former North Carolina Tar Heel. He's quite comfortable wearing the Carolina blue. Still a dangerous ball. Scorpions, a modest clearance. This ball continues to take a few home squad hops towards midfield. Lead pass for Restrepo, has Toure on his right. Restrepo tripped up 20 yards out. Play continues. Toure looking to dance, but has too many dancing partners as three defenders all come around to create a wall.
I could call play on there from our head official, Matthew Forster. Scorpion fans unhappy, thought that was a foul, but Toure coming up with that after going down was Barrera. So good no call there, and throw in coming for Minnesota. Just over 12 minutes remaining in this one. Scorpions still down a goal. They need to start pressing.
Getting close to the final 10 minutes of this one. Lead pass for Hasley. It'll find the hands of Van Oekel instead. So Matt Van Oekel last year allowing 18 goals in his 1,600 minutes back in frame. Twice named Team of the Week, once Player of the Week for a Minnesota team that had added former Scorpion goalkeeper Daryl Sattler at the time, only to see Sattler go down injured during the spring. But you can always appreciate a nice constant back there between the pipes. Venegas.
Yeah, pretty play right there from the Brazilian Vincentini as number 77 goes down. And who else? Steven Dureau now back on that back line. Seems to be a little bit more comfortable playing on the back line than he does as a defensive midfielder. Good restart.
Restrepo sends a screamer in. It'll go off of Minnesota United and set up a corner kick on that far wing. And Restrepo looks content to handle it, does not want to waste any time. Barrera stays put at the top of the box. They go to Toure, and he just cannot turn on it. Play continues after Duro with the push.
That's exactly what the Scorpions wanted. They had Toure coming out to the near post at the top of the 6-yard box. Unable to come down with the ball was the Gambian international.
Matt Van Oekel seeing a little bit more action in that defensive third these past couple of minutes, but the result is the same. What won't be the same is the lineup out there for Minnesota, as Manny Lagos will dip for a second time. The first change was putting Ibarra in the fold, and now Greg Jordan will be the next new addition, the 24-year-old out of Naperville, Illinois, at the next stoppage in play. I would tell you that Greg Jordan is the man from Creighton, but he's one of 3 former Blue Jays on this squad. He was on one of the Creighton teams that made it to the championship game of the College Cup. The Scorpions still have not found that first goal. And the Scorpions with a slow start in 2012. We know how that finished in the regular season with the best record overall. A slow start last year in the spring, and yet they finished a point shy in the table of first place. Scorpions were hoping for a quicker start. But they will have played more than an hour by the end of tonight, down a man. As Van Oekel, not intimidated by the wind in his face, sends that ball cruising deep into the Scorpions' end of the pitch. As Can, the new captain, able to control it.
Yeah, beautiful defense right there. Janicki one-on-one situation with Jamie Watson. Watson much shorter, but has the speed right there, and a beautiful job. Janicki uses the body, able to shield Watson away and take the ball.
Vania with a rare touch here in his debut off the bench, the 26-year-old member of the Dominican Republic national team. Duro showing off those feet. Probably has been asked to make the biggest change in this matchup following that red card. And you just see the numbers advantage for Minnesota. Almost 2 blue for every black in that penalty area. And here comes that aforementioned substitution, the second of the night for Minnesota United. As Greg Jordan will come on. Last year played for Harrisburg City, the Islanders, and USL Pro. The defensive midfielder comes on, and as implied by the title of his position, is going to try to lock this 2-0 score down and make it official by the end of the night.
Yeah, Jordan coming on for the Brazilian number 77, Giuliano Vincentini, and Vincentini doing a phenomenal job as a defensive midfielder, pushing forward right there. Looked like the Scorpions had a chance right there in their last offensive possession, but Scorpions doing a lot of ball watching right there in the box, and Loons, again, defense steps up. You have to give that back line so much credit. They have definitely been the MVP of this match so far here this evening.
Again, I mentioned Harrisburg City for Jordan, but officially a member of Philadelphia Union, had been on loan to Harrisburg City for those seasons. Pitch Cullen will send it out wide. He got the scoring started with that assist, dialing up Ramirez. Let's see if they reward the former Scorpion. They were looking to put that ball on his left boot. Just did not come to fruition.
You see Janicki, another beautiful job defensively, taking the ball away, restarting the offense, and the veteran from Michigan State doing a wonderful job. Such a luxury to have, not only a defender who can take it, but restart the offense. And just as I say that, Scorpions give the ball back.
Bingham comes up. Ball is stripped from his mitts, and they say no goal.
That's a good call right there, Bingham. That was goalkeeper interference with the young netminder, number 1, David Bingham, the California native right there. And again, the rules of soccer, you cannot kick the ball when he has it firmly ensconced in his gloves. So what happened right there, no goal. Good call from head referee Matthew Forrester.
It'll keep at least narrow hope alive here for the home club. But they're still 2 goals shy of an equalizer. Well, the Scorpions not only success in the preseason, but unlike the big loss of their top striker for Minnesota United, the Scorpions came into tonight healthy, although now shorthanded. And a lot of that you can thank, of course, the very knowledgeable staff that the Scorpions have put together, including the trainer, Brian, who's done an excellent job. Brian's son, however, not able to take this match in live. Miles, one of the biggest Scorpions fans, Well, we certainly hope you feel better soon over at the Methodist Hospital watching this game. Cheering on, I'm sure, desperately for the Scorpions to get back in it. Right now, 5 minutes remaining here in regulation.
Brian over at Methodist Hospital cheering the Scorpions on, and we're right here at Toyota Field cheering you on. So, or excuse me, Miles, Brian's son, the trainer. So, Miles, hats off to you. Good work, young man. Keep up the fight, and Scorpions will keep doing the best they can.
As Jennings out there on the right wing. Scorpions had a few moments, a few highlights early, threatening Van Oekel a couple of times back in frame, but he and that back line, one of the strengths in their debut in 2014. And Matt will happily take the ball for a brief walk as valuable time continues to tick off the clock. Again, official timekeeper this year for the NASL, Seiko.
Minnesota very content to use time. They know that is the most important thing with a 2-0 lead and a man advantage here in this one. San Antonio's used all three of their substitutions. Manny Lagos and Minnesota only 2 of their 3.
Toure, and Sandy just could not get to that in time, but Alan Marcina will issue it back over to Minnesota again. For those of you less familiar with Alan Marcina, who took over the helm last fall for Tim Hankinson, making Alan just the second ever head coach in franchise history. Alan was on the original coaching staff as an assistant, but when he was promoted back in August, just 34 years old, younger than some of the players on his roster. But an 8-year career as a striker, including in Puerto Rico, in Montreal, as well as Vancouver, of course, with Minnesota and the Thunder. Finished his career with then Miami FC of the North American Soccer League. But I mentioned the Thunder, and again, it's a reminder of the way that this club has come along. The Thunder, the Stars, of course, that championship in 2011, the debut return, if that makes sense, for the NASL. And an opportunity there with Minnesota right now just sitting on the 2-goal lead.
Talking about Minnesota and the tradition of soccer up there in the Twin Cities, you have to tip your hat to head coach Manny Lagos, and especially to his father, Buzz Lagos. Royalty in American soccer, what they've been able to do in the NASL and in all the professional leagues. He's doing a wonderful job of bringing high-quality soccer to the Twin Cities, and lots of rumors that Twin Cities may be getting a MLS franchise in the next few seasons.
Christian Ramirez has been on his backside stretching for the better part of the past 4 to 5 minutes. The referee is going to go out and make sure he's okay. Noticeable cramp in his left calf, but right now with a 2-goal lead, he has no interest in stopping time, and now all of a sudden will take a seat. As that leg just too much to overcome right now. If needed, Manny Lagos does have one more substitution in it. Looks as though he's going to make that, and as if it's not embarrassing enough that you have a best 11 player on your bench named Ibarra, how about when you can dip in for a desperation substitution and bring in a young man by the name of Simone Bracalello. All of his 7 goals, 5 assists last year, and this is a Minnesota team with some nice depth as well.
Now, Bracalello, really interesting story, originally from Genoa, Italy, played for the Sampdoria youth team, one of the big clubs there, along with Genoa, in his hometown, and actually picked up at 2010 in an open tryout, has been with Minnesota ever since, and Bracalello comes on here. The final minutes, gets a little cleanup duty, but very impressive from the first-year player, Christian Ramirez, here for Minnesota United. Got the first goal of the game, setting his team up 1-0.
Bracalello, the Italian, the leading scorer in Minnesota history during the North American Soccer League, as Scorpion right there outnumbered. Bracalello, 19 career goals in the NASL. And officially we're a minute away from putting punctuation on this one. But interactions like this, the yellow card is given to Jamie Watson. It has been interesting over the years. Manny Lagos is pointing out to Jamie, we've got a match to win. We don't need any of this for the remainder of this contest. But Jamie Watson, first when he was introduced to Minnesota, was on an opposing team. They thought he took some dives. Now they cheer him on. And now it's the Scorpions, some of their fans back in the days rooted for him, and now they're the ones who view him as an antagonist. He's happy to play any role. Scorpions looking to take advantage of the opportunity as the can't imagine play is actually continuing right now. The reason why there's a player down, and this may have not been in your screen moments ago, one of the players for Minnesota United quickly hit the deck hoping to get a call, perhaps a card against the Scorpion. Play continued until they finally noticed the player down. And up on the video board, they have one of the more popular, give the dark cloud some credit. They've got some creative chants, and this is the one from Family Guy with the injury, the oohs and the ahs, as most recently brought up on a recent podcast. Again, of course, Minnesota known for their 10,000 soccer podcast. I believe that's what's on their license plate, but Bruce and Wes talking about that recently, but I don't believe we'll see a card here either way. 90 minutes complete. You've got some stoppage time coming your way due to popular demand.
That's exactly right. Head coach Matthew Forrester keeping a good look at his watch right there. We're soon to have at least 3 or 4 minutes of stoppage time. But again, Scorpions down 2-0. They're really going to have to press here. And we talked going into this match, there's a rivalry, a long-distance rivalry up and down I-35, but a rivalry nonetheless. And anyone who said this wasn't a rivalry and who's seen this match tonight knows that this is about as intense as it gets in the NASL.
There are certainly clubs that are closer geographically to one another, some that share the same state, but right now, when you can see a red card in the opening 25 minutes between two teams with practically new identities in terms of personnel, it clearly is about the kits they're wearing out there. Minnesota United was denied a third goal earlier today. The cross just does not fall on Ibarra, and this last-ditch save by that right hand from Bingham.
Yeah, good play there from Watson. Ball going across the face of goal, and fourth official now signaling that we're going to have 6 minutes of extra time. So I was guessing 3 or 4, and obviously a little too lax on that. So 6 minutes of extra time, but looking forward to this Minnesota United team. We're talking about the cards, 6 cards here so far, 3 yellows for Minnesota United, 2 yellows for San Antonio, and obviously that red in the 25th to Julius James. Scorpions have been down a man since.
These teams will meet 2 more times, at least in the regular season. Those meetings will come in the fall. The next one will be here in San Antonio again on September 20th before they go on the road for their second and final match of the year on October 25th. This wedge driven in deep into the box, header towards the back post, and Touré needed perhaps 12 more inches of real estate to work with to try to put that one in the net and put the Scorpions on the board.
That's right, just no angle right there. Ball played to the near post. Touré tried to put the right boot on that. He had no angle with his left, and just coming off the shoelaces to the near side of the post. Van Oekel breathes a huge sigh of relief as clean sheet stays intact for Minnesota United.
Well, it was a tough offseason for Scorpions fans, eagerly awaiting for the start of the spring, having to wait for the regular season to begin. The wait ended today, but it looks more and more likely the Scorpions will have to wait at least 1 more week for that first goal of the season. That's nothing new for the Scorpions, who have never scored in the first 2 weeks of an NASL season. Scorpions got their first ever goal almost a month into their debut year in Carolina, a couple seasons back. It's flicked on header. Touré just has to hold up a little bit too long. Minnesota able to get defenders back in time.
And again, Cristiano Diaz, the central defender right there, left center defender, the Brazilian. Beautiful work right there. Touré was waiting for that, ready to take the volley on his left foot. But big number 3, Diaz, just knocks that one away.
Offsides the call, back over to Van Oekel and Minnesota. And Minnesota United, in all likelihood, enters next week, still on the road, going across the border to Ottawa. Take on the Fury with 3 points in their back pocket atop the standings. This is the final match underway tonight. You can see all the other final scores right now on NASL.com. With the exception, of course, the match that takes place tomorrow between last year's Soccer Bowl competitors, Atlanta and New York. Obviously, Atlanta, a new-look squad in their own right. A couple of their key pieces now here in San Antonio. And New York certainly has one of the more familiar names in these parts, Hans Dennison, joining the fold this year.
Yeah, we wish Hans all the best of luck up there in New York. New player for the Cosmos, a class act on and off the field is the Dutchman. Fan favorite last year here in San Antonio.
I believe this should be a corner for San Antonio. You had a couple of Minnesota players gathering around that ball, and neither of them remembered to actually collect it after they touched it last. But no, they're going to say goal kick. And the Scorpions try to expedite it by placing it on that line 6 yards out for Van Oekel. Nothing if not thoughtful.
We see Cristiano Diaz again, and just giving more credit to the Brazilian left center back and just pointing to the head, saying, guys, use your head. We have a 2-0 lead. We're in stoppage time. Let's get out of here with the 3 points. No more cards, no more mental mistakes.
Loons playing for the clean sheet here in their opener. Last year it was a scoreless draw between these two in their first meeting of the season. Up in Minneapolis, of course, early in the season, having to play in the Dome, as it takes a little while for the field to be ready for competition. 90 minutes complete.